Back from Israel last night. I was there for a week, and we went with an organization called USIEA, U.S. Israel Educational Association, and the people at JH Ranch, folks in Birmingham would know Heather and Bruce Johnston and their ministry in Birmingham and out in California. They've also got a JH Israel in Samaria, in the city of Ariel. Also went to Ariel University and had been there now. This was my second time there, and went on behalf of Auburn, and we're beginning to look at some ways to integrate and do some cooperation for students and some different programming, and very excited about the possibility there. So very grateful that Auburn's looking into that possibility. And I did a lot to try to set our trip up for when we go back in August with the team. We saw most of the sites, and so trying to pick and choose what sites the players would enjoy the most and have the most meaningful. For example, there's an opportunity to go up north into the Sea of Galilee and see where Jesus really did a lot of his teaching, performed most of his miracles, and taught his disciples. And also the Jordan River is one of the places, it's the mighty Jordan River is the widest, I say that facetiously because it's not very wide, is up in that part, and have the guys maybe go get baptized for those that want to. And things like that, making sure, visited, Yad Vashem, the Holocaust Memorial. I think that would be very impactful for the teams, as well as, a lot of the historic sites. There's a lot of Judeo-Christian history there. So that's what I just got off the plane to do. Now, coming back here last night, we had a great evening last night. We raised a lot of money. Coach Harson and Alan Green both were here, which I'm very grateful for, very appreciative of their support. I think that I got an opportunity to visit with some of our best fans, and so I had a great night last night. We got a little rain delay here. This was one of the great things about coaching basketball. I've never been involved in a rain delay. You guys just got done with football, baseball, and that's your life, right? We play rain or shine in basketball. So excited about getting this tournament underway. To benefit Children's Harbor. Children's Harbor is a very, very special place, for children and for families, and they run the gambit for children as far as their health challenges and concerns, whether it be heart, cancer, autism, blind, hearing impaired, you name it. And they use this amazing facility called Children's Harbor for families to have regular vacations, just like other kids and families get to have. But obviously there's all kinds of assistance provided. So, I believe that, we're well after the contribution we will be making. We're north of $1.25 million in the last 8 years to Children's Harbor. We talked last night also about, really about the fact that, so much of that we've been able to do, we do it together. You think about, what we've accomplished with Outlive, giving $250,000 away this year to patients and folks that are battling cancer that have some financial challenges. And then you add it to what we're doing here. Again, this is not Auburn basketball doing it or Bruce Program. This is because of the support we get from the Auburn community and our fan base that allows us to do these things. And we're just sort of that vehicle. So we've got a lot accomplished and look forward to doing much more. Questions about anything?
With Alan at the G League, I guess I don't know how much you've communicated with him and his guys over there, but just how beneficial of an experience is that for a guy like him, and do you have any inkling of the way he's leaning at the moment?
Yeah, I think he's got a couple more workouts this week, and then we'll hear about what he decides to do. I think the experience was really good, and I think he wanted that experience as much as anything. He wanted to be able to get a sort of a fresh starting point on where he is right now as it relates to the draft, as it relates to the competition. And I think he learned a lot at the combine, what he did well, what he needs to do more of, can he move the needle in the last 2 workouts? We'll see. But I think the experience is going to be really good for him individually, and I think that that's why you have this sort of window where you're able to sort of test the waters, but really learn as much as anything about where you are and where the competition is, and what needs to be done from this point forward.
How do you feel about your roster so far that you put together for this upcoming season?
Well, right now we got 12 guys on scholarship if Allen comes back, and I get 13. So last year I had 11 guys on scholarship, so we're +1. We were able to put Preston on scholarship a year ago. I have that scholarship available to us. If we don't sign another player in this recruiting period, I really don't know whether we will or not. And a lot of that is going to determine what Al does. Then there's a possibility that Leor Berman could get that scholarship. And also be mindful that over a period of, I believe it's 4 or 5 years, we've got to take a 2 scholarship penalty. We took one this past year, only having 12 guys on scholarship. We've got to do that one more time. And so those are all kind of what our options are. I like our roster. I think I kind of feel a little bit like Noah, since I just came back from Israel. Let's just go with the Noah comparison. I got 2 of everything. I got at least 2 of everything at every position, and a little bit more depth at guard because of bringing in Trey and bringing in Chance and really, and then losing Devin. So I kind of add 1 there. And then our front line, we had 5 at the front line. We lost 2. We brought in 2. Obviously, the great challenge is when you lose, the best player at the end, the best player, the number 1 pick in the draft, and a first rounder in Walker Kessler, and 2 of the, you lose the best front line in college basketball. But to be able to replace those guys with Yohan Traylor and Janai Brown, 2 really good young prospects, pretty required. It was required. And look, I think we will be young again. Kind of a mixture of some veterans coming back, but I think some of these young guys definitely have an opportunity to contribute. Don't forget, last year we only had 1 freshman, and that was Jabari Smith, and he didn't play like a freshman. And this year we've got 3 who I think can all play some. I think they all will play, and so we'll have to see how quickly they're able to kind of assimilate.
With that last roster,
What's that?
With that last scholarship, is it kind of a scenario where you guys might wait until after that draft deadline and kind of see what's available?
Yeah, I mean, I just think, and I've always believed in putting the kids in position to be successful, even before the transfer portal, and so it's got to be the right player, the right fit, and then so for example, a year ago when we brought in 4 transfers. We had some sophomores that were returning, and it felt like because we had lost Sharif, we had lost JT, we had some other guys that had been in the program transfer. I felt like we really weren't recruiting over anybody's head. We were just challenging for some competition. I think this year with some guys being upperclassmen. Wendell Green in his 3rd year now. You bring a transfer on top of him. KD Johnson, his 3rd year now in college. Do you bring a transfer on top of him? Jalen Williams, his 4th year now. Do you bring a transfer on top of him? We brought some young guys in to compete with him, and feel that was the fairest way of rebuilding our roster, and yet having some. I'm not a may the best one. Go to bring in 13 of the best guys we can find and may the best man win. That's never been how I've been. There are other coaches in our league that are that way. Doesn't make them wrong. It's just I've never done it that way.
Bruce, can you talk about 3 or 4 years ago? You talked about the importance up here of scheduling tough non-conference opponents. Has that served you guys pretty well, and you planning to do it again?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's served us well because it's really helped us get ready for league play. And so when we've started off the league, we start off pretty well. It's because we get really challenged in November, December. So when all of a sudden January hits, you don't get hit in the mouth. There are some, there've been some other programs that didn't play that kind of schedule, and they start the season. All of a sudden, well, we better start guarding a little differently because this isn't going to work because they didn't play a very tough schedule. It presents, the scheduling always has its challenges. I like to be able to go to neutral sites, and I like to be able to play, a couple games on the road. And in order to get some of those games, we played at Central Florida, at South Florida, or we played at UAB, or we played at South Alabama, we played at Murray State. Next year we go at USC and at Washington. That'll be a tough trip. And in addition to some neutral site games, so yeah, the schedule will be tough.
Positionally, where does Chance kind of fit in with what you guys do?
Chance gives us great flexibility. He could play 1, 2, or 3, and I'm anxious to see. He's a natural wing. He's more of a natural wing, but he's really good with the ball in his hands. So can he challenge? And can he challenge Zep, Wendell, Trey? Who Trey would be more of a point guard, but Trey could do things with it without the ball also. So I think it's going to be I think the competition is going to be great this summer, but I also think there are going to be some guys. Wendell's going to be a point guard. Trey can play 1 and 2. Zep can play 1 and 2. Chance can play 1, 2, and 3. So there'll be some real competition and some opportunity to move some guys around a lot. Okay, good.
Thanks, Bruce.